The property tax crisis is getting worse every single week in this country. Unfortunately, many homeowners will be forced to sell if things don't change. In this video, we're going to hear from a homeowner whose property taxes increased by almost 4,000%. We're also going to hear about other property tax nightmares that people are having, and we're also going to learn about states with the lowest property taxes. So make sure you stay until the end. But first, I need you to hit that subscribe button. If you want to get better at real estate investing, you have to follow this channel. Also, if you want to learn how to invest out of state, there's a free training in the description of this video. So make sure you check that out. First, let's learn about a homeowner whose property taxes are increasing by over $30,000.
I was devastated. I'm like, let me look at the percentage, but I was literally devastated when I saw that increase.
Daryl Lloyd lives a modest lifestyle. He bought this 3-bedroom, 1-bath home in 2006 and paid cash $115,000.
I see 960 square feet. I don't have a second floor. I don't have a basement.
Just days ago, his home sweet home on Gardner Avenue in unincorporated Chicago Heights felt more like a nightmare.
I'm at a loss. So right now, I don't know what to do. I can't even sell the house because they see the taxes. Everybody gonna run.
This is the tax bill that Lloyd received last year, a little over $1,800. But this is the whopping bill he received last week, a property tax hike of over 3,811% for a total of over $30,000. The property was valued at over $1 million.
Nothing over here is worth $1 million.
The diesel mechanic and safety inspector is currently receiving disability after suffering an injury.
I had to move in with a relative or something. I can't afford it.
First of all, how could it be possible for someone's property taxes to increase over $30,000 in 1 year? It just doesn't make sense. Where do they expect him to get this money from? Something is clearly wrong here, and to me, it just doesn't add up. They're valuing his home at $1 million, and nothing in his area, his home included, is worth anything close to $1 million. This is criminal, and unfortunately, he's not the only one experiencing this. What do you think is going on here? Do you think this is intentional? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, you won't believe what the county had to say about the tax bill that this man got. To me, it was straight up disrespectful.
The Cook County Treasurer's Office says sadly Lloyd isn't the only homeowner with a large tax bill. The office conducted this analysis and found that, quote, the assessor's office acknowledged it erred in calculating land values for more than 4,400 homes in the south and southwest suburbs. That led to severe overassessments for homes on larger plots of land. The errors were discovered too late in the process for them to be corrected before tax bills were calculated, printed, and mailed. Lloyd says he went to the Cook County Tax Assessor's office to get help and kept getting the runaround.
I said, let me go downtown City Hall to the assessor's office. And at that point, I showed them my taxes and I told them that I had a substantial increase, and they was like, everybody taxes increase. I talked to another gentleman. He looked around and made some calls, and he said, well, I called another department, they won't answer the phone.
That's when Lloyd called us about the $1 million mistake. Fox 32 was able to reach the assessor's office, and tonight we have confirmation that the astronomical tax increase is a mistake.
Now, how could they possibly make that mistake with 4,400 homes in the county? I don't think they understand how this negatively impacts the everyday person. I can't even imagine the anxiety that people are feeling when they open up their mail and they see these ridiculous tax hikes. I want to know why they don't care until the news gets involved. That's the part that's even more confusing to me. That fact honestly makes me feel like they just want people to lose their homes. If I call the county tax office and I share with them that I have an abnormal increase in my taxes, they should take it seriously. Somebody should talk to me and try to help me and see to it that I get some support. I shouldn't be given the runaround. Nobody should have that experience. Now, later on in the clip, the county did make a statement and say that this man will receive a correct tax bill. I just hope that they do the same thing for the 4,400 homes in the county, some of whom may not have reached out or didn't even know they could reach out. So I'm hoping they make it right for everybody. If you're a homeowner in Cook County or you know someone who is, encourage them to contest if they've received a tax bill that is abnormal, that's way higher than it usually is. Now we need to understand why there's such a big property tax crisis in Cook County. So let's hear from the county treasurer. And I have to warn you, it's not good news.
The south suburbs, which were recently reassessed, are up 19%. And 15 of the south suburbs, which are 13 of which are in black areas, are up 30%. So we think that's significant, and we think it's extraordinarily significant because people are going to open up their mailboxes and they're going to say, what's going on? Well, the what's going on is here. This is our new programming. It's called Where Does Your Money Go? And it shows that this particular residence went up by $3,800, but it tells you which taxing district increased your taxes and by how much. In this instance, they're all Moores. Okay, so this is a residence. Then on this side, we have for you, I don't know if you can see this well enough, but this is a commercial building, okay?
Now, before I go any further, this lady is not the reason that the property taxes are going up. She's doing her job, she's the messenger, and she's just letting us know what's going on. Now, it's cool to know what tax district is increasing the property taxes, but that does not answer the question of why the taxes are increasing in the first place. That's the most frustrating part. That beautiful chart she showed us doesn't answer the question. So I want to ask you, why do you think the property taxes in Cook County are going up? Whether you live there or not, I want to hear your opinion, so let me know in the comments. Now, I was completely shocked by what the treasurer had to say about what she thinks will happen with Chicago property taxes in 2025. As a reminder, make sure you stay until the end because we're going to talk about several states with low property taxes.
But if I were not the treasurer and I was just like sitting in some storefront and I had like a crystal ball and I was going to make a prediction about the city of Chicago next year, I would say it's going up. I would say it's going up. And I would say residences are probably in for a shock. You know, if you know who the government is, you go to who's running that government, right? It's pretty simple. We did this so people would quit coming in here and saying, why did they go up? We just say, people keep saying, why did they go up? Why did they go up? It's pretty simple why they went up. Look at this. Look at these areas that drove it up. We're hoping that they go to those electeds, especially the state electeds, so that they can start to look at some sort of property tax reform in Springfield. Now, that's been going on since Truman left office. There have been thousands of reports about, you know, how to correct the property tax system, and it just seems that it doesn't happen.
So she's warning homeowners in Chicago to prepare for the worst because next year, property taxes are going to skyrocket. I do agree with her that it's important to go directly to the elected officials and try to advocate for some sort of reform. I also hope that she can understand why people have been reaching out to that office to figure out exactly what's going on. The fact is, the economy right now is not great, and those tax increases that people are receiving just are not sustainable. People cannot afford it. I'm sure you all can agree that there is reform that is needed. So on that fact, I do agree with her. Now, you won't believe how they determine who gets a property tax break and who doesn't. I really can't believe that they're playing with people's livelihoods like this. It's simply unfair.
Commercial buildings are empty. When the assessor comes in, he goes, you know, I got to give this guy who owns this building a break. So if you give commercial a break and theirs go down, the residences go up. The residences go up. So that's pretty obvious. I mean, look at the Gold Coast. You know, if the keys at Water Tower get turned back over to the bank and Water Tower's almost 50% empty, the tax bill is going to go down. And everybody who lives in the surrounding area is going to pay more to make up for the fact that commercial went down.
Now, why in the world does it matter if commercial buildings are empty or not? That should not impact homeowners. In my opinion, that's pure greed from the county. Homeowners shouldn't have to pay more in property taxes because businesses are failing. That's almost like saying if the property next door to you is vacant and say the owner of the property has not been paying property taxes, then you have to pay more. Or if they had some sort of hardship and for 1 year couldn't pay their property taxes, that you'd have to pay more. It just doesn't make sense. So you let me know in the comments if you think what she just explained makes any sense. Speaking of elected officials, there is a mayor in Cook County that's actually trying to do something about the increase in property taxes to protect his residents. This is honestly a relief after what we've learned so far.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe this.
Lily Rayburn's disbelief came recently from a surging county tax bill for her home in South suburban Harvey, from just under $2,300 last year to over $4,000 this year, just shy of double.
If this continues, I will lose my home. I cannot maintain that.
We were introduced to her by the mayor of Harvey.
We are not going to raise taxes.
As he introduced a plan to help take the heat off those feeling that pinch.
We are stopping the bleeding from people who cannot afford to pay their tax bills.
He's promising 2025's taxes to City Hall will be identical to those this year, no jump, with two exceptions: police and fire pensions and paying bondholders. The rest, his city, which is facing a $149 million deficit, will stay the same. Everything else you can elect to turn the valve off on?
Just from my knowledge, yes, we can. Mathematically, it's sound.
And have you talked to your city council about this?
Yes, I have.
And it's all green lit?
Well, I'd say the vast majority, yes.
So it's not a done deal, it's what you're proposing.
No, it's a done deal as far as we're concerned, because I've talked to enough of our alderpersons where we know we have the votes to pass it.
Yet again, we have seniors who may be forced to sell their homes because they cannot afford their property taxes. I've covered this so much on this channel, and it's really disheartening that it's continuing to happen. I do have a lot of respect for the mayor who's actually trying to do something within his control to lower these property taxes. In my opinion, every mayor in this country should try to do something similar. They may not be able to do everything. They may not be able to lower everything, but they should at least try and do something. I'm sure the citizens in their city would greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure you all watching would appreciate it. Now we need to learn about the states that have low property taxes. So if you're looking for somewhere to move down the road, or if you're looking for a place to invest, then perhaps one of these states might be for you. So first we have Alabama with an average annual property tax of $803.59. Next, we have Louisiana with an average annual property tax of $1,095.89. Then we have Kentucky with an average annual property tax of $1,710.91. Then we have Nevada with an average annual property tax of $1,369.60. Last, we have Arkansas with an average annual property tax of $1,154.52. So now that you know about the property tax crisis in Illinois, I want you to learn about the insurance crisis that's taking place all over the country. Check out this video right here.